say, in its previous life, it was an Air Force trainer that was designed for pilot conversion, or training and pilot conversion onto the CAC boomerang. Both aircraft were designed by the same design engineer, and then at the end of the war, a company actually was associated with Kingsford Smith. Actually, a company that Kingsford Smith owned and ran decided that they would probably make a good top dressing aircraft. So a company was formed, the Yeoman aircraft company was formed, and they started building these Yeoman Cropmasters, and were, I think, fairly successful at it, although the competition at the time was fairly tough. They were competing against the Cessna Agwagon, the Piper Pawnee, Fletcher aircraft. So 7 of them came out to New Zealand, and they in various parts of the country, mainly in Southland, and were actually quite popular. ZKCPW is the only flying example left now in the world. There is one or two. I've seen one in a museum in Melbourne, in Australia, but not flying, and probably never fly again, I would think.
The ones that came out to New Zealand, did they come out soon after the war, or was it sort of later on the life of the Cropmasters?
Yeah, it was. I think it was basically at the time when the aviation industry had, aerial top dressing was looked as though it had a future, and so 1 or 2 companies started producing top dressing aircraft, and this was one of them. And I think it was the early '60s basically that they test flew the first top dressing conversion in 1960.
What sort of load were they?
Oh, they were reasonably comfortable on normal conditions. They were reasonably comfortable with 1500 watt. They are either powered by a Lycoming or a Continental, and this aircraft of mine is powered by a Continental. It's an IO 470, which is an injected 470, and they're 260 brake horsepower, derated to 250. Beautifully designed airplane in regards to their ruggedness. They had a rugged undercar, they had wide track. Very similar, I suppose, in ruggedness to the Fletcher. Ivan Haynes converted one to a passenger aircraft, 3-seat passenger aircraft, one Cropmaster, and he was going to do another one. He purchased another ex-top dressing CLW, which had been spraying and top dressing in the Wanganui area, and he had it in storage, and then decided that no, that he wasn't going to continue on with the project. So he approached me and asked if I was interested in it, and I just said, yeah, look, I'd be very interested in it. So it was a complete aircraft, so I actually purchased that and have got it installed. Total production was 21, and from memory 7 came to New Zealand.
Oh, so a good third of them came to New Zealand, so presumably the bulk of the rest stayed in Australia.
Yeah, they did, and eventually they got written off. The earlier models were a little bit nose heavy, and they had a tendency to topple over on their nose. The last 3 or 4 that came to New Zealand, and the 2 that I've got had their undercar moved forward about 4 inches, which alleviated the problem. So
you're not aware of what happened to the others around the country at all?
Oh yeah, there's one that's in stages of rebuild in Gore. The others basically got written off and got used up for parts, and the one that Ivan Haynes converted, that's gone back to Australia. That's the passenger. So yeah, basically the others that were in Southland are virtually been destroyed. We'll never see them